Pope Francis has been laid to rest at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome.
US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky meet privately in the Vatican before Pope Francis' funeral.
Pope Francis has been laid to rest at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome, in a simple underground tomb with just his papal name, Franciscus. His funeral on Saturday attracted as many as 250,000 people, rich and poor alike, who came to pay their respects.
Siamo partiti questa mattina per poter assistere al funerale di Francesco, del Papa Francesco, e abbiamo portato i disegni dei nostri bambini che non sono venuti e che avevano piacere in qualche modo di essere presenti, perché comunque lo hanno sempre seguito, comunque in casa lo conoscono come amico, come anche un nonno che si ascolta.
Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, who eulogized Pope Francis, memorialized him as a pope among the people, with an open heart towards everyone. After the funeral mass on St. Peter's Square, the Pope's coffin was moved to the Basilica of St. Mary Major for a private burial. Despite the attendance of presidents and princes, it was prisoners, transgender people, migrants, and the poor who welcomed his body into the church towards his final resting place. The Pope hoped the ceremony would reflect the priorities of his papacy, where he aimed to emphasize his role as a mere priest rather than a powerful religious leader.
It was a deeply moving funeral service that reflected the widespread love and respect for Pope Francis on this historic day. Cardinal Re, who presided over the funeral, said that Pope Francis gave everything until the end, touching the minds and hearts of many. He also said that he devoted himself to the most marginalized on earth. Now, despite being a global event with over 180 international delegations attending, it maintained the simple and modest style that defined his pontificate. As Pope Francis is laid to rest, world leaders, Catholics from around the world, bid farewell to a man who set a moral example and tried to change the church from within. Regardless of whom the conclave will elect as the next pontiff, some of the changes that Pope Francis introduced when it comes to defining the role of the Pope are seen as irreversible. Pope Francis envisioned a Pope not as a monarch, but as an humble pastor. Giorgio Orlandi for Euronews in the Vatican.
Dozens of world leaders, including US President Donald Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, attended Pope Francis' funeral in the Vatican's St. Peter's Square on Saturday. According to the Ukrainian Presidency press service, a private meeting between Zelensky and Trump had taken place before the funeral service. The claim was confirmed by a White House communications director who described it as a very productive discussion, according to AP. Over 160 delegations, 60 heads of state, including European royals, attended the funeral mass service for the Pope in front of St. Peter's Basilica on Saturday morning. Cardinals in rich red robes formed a double queue, flanking the Pope's coffin as it was carried into the square. Francis, the leader of the Catholic Church, died on Monday at the age of 88 after suffering a stroke.
A high-ranking Russian general has been killed in an apparent car blast near Moscow, says local media. Lieutenant General Yaroslav Moskalik died after a Volkswagen Golf exploded in a residential area in the city of Balashikha, authorities said. Investigators have opened a criminal investigation. The incident comes just days after heavy Russian airstrikes on Kyiv, in which at least 12 people have died.